A state-of-the-art multi-purpose facility to address the high scourge of gender-based violence in the small town. The facilities are built in areas where statistical evidence shows the need for intervention. The NPA says close to 50% of reported cases are of abuse against children.
This particular centre provides a whole range of services, from the forensic services, from support services in terms of trauma counselling. And so the idea behind these centres is really to try to minimise the secondary traumatisation or victimisation of victims of sexual and gender-based violence, and to really support them throughout their journey from being victims to becoming survivors. And ultimately, it's a court-directed process, so we want to ensure that we are also able to ensure accountability in terms of the suspects being arrested and the cases in court, resulting in justice for the victims.
Authorities also plan to implement stringent bail measures against perpetrators of GBV.
We have been tightening up the bail laws, particularly when it comes to gender-based violence, sexual offences. We have increased, and the most recent amendment, the 3 GBV bills as they're called, which was I think 2022 or 2021, did increase the sentences, minimum sentences, which is the minimum that the person is meant to be sentenced to. They can't be sentenced to anything lower. Obviously, the courts have a discretion. One of the issues with bail is it's not about whether the person's guilty or not. It's about, are they going to stand trial, and are they going to interfere with witnesses? So that's the main question in bail, not their guilt.
The private sector invested a total of 10 million rand towards the development of the centre.
Vodacom has set aside 10 million, which we've spent on these centres here, but we'll continue to do that. Vodacom continues to roll out, and we've set aside a further 4 million rand that we'll also use to refurbish some of the Thuthuzela Centres that exist already. And so we remain committed to the fight against gender-based violence.
With the scourge of gender-based violence, it has reached epidemic proportions. And the existence of funds like ours and these kind of initiatives, it shows that whilst we may be chipping away and creating the right systemic approach to dealing with gender-based violence, there's a lot more prevention that needs to happen for us to see the numbers of gender-based violence go down. It is not a fight that requires women alone. It is a fight that requires both men and women, and mostly men. As we know, they are the perpetrators, unfortunately, as the President has said as well.
The Eastern Cape government has raised concern over the spiralling violence against women and children, and believes such interventions are crucial to address this societal ill.
If men, they don't realize that they are attacked, and they are attacking our country, especially the women and girl children. We must pray, must have programs, but clear programs must be directed to a male child.
A total of 65 Thuthuzela Centres are operational countrywide, with more expected to be built in the near future. Lwando Nomoyi, SABC News, Nxuba.